raising a problem child. How is it raising a problem child?
Ooh, you just don't have. We don't have enough time.
Oh, we got time. We got time today. We got time today.
Was there? So I know how it. Was there ever a point where you kind of lost?
Were they threw in the towel? Oh yeah, they threw. Yo, they threw in the towel. Oh yeah, my
Yeah.
right my junior year.
It's like a Bridgeway is like not like it's not mental. It's like behavioral kids. I even called in because I was like, I didn't know what else to do. I have done everything I could. I knew I didn't deserve it.
They threw the towel in, Trey.
And you
So
were
you know that Rocky meme? You know that Rocky meme where they like throw the towel in? That was Mama.
Yeah.
What?
He was saying, you know how Rocky and they had to throw the towel, and he said that's what y'all did.
Yeah, I prayed about it and I prayed about it, and I finally said, you know what?
They threw the towel in on me, boy. I was bad.
So I used my last weapon. That worked though.
They was like, Dad, I remember the day too. Dad and Mom came in there, right? They was like, listen, son, it's clear to us that you don't care about school. So what we're gonna let you do is you're gonna finish out the year, and then when you turn 18, you're gonna work, and then to the point where you save up enough money, you getting out. Like that's and then especially when Dad reached that point, Dad's like, no, you getting out. Dad's like, no, you getting out. So you gonna turn 18, because you gotta remember by the time I graduated, I was still only 17. So they could have kicked me out. They could have sent me to stay with somebody else, but legally they was like, okay, well, you could tell too. They had this calculator. They was weighing their options. They was just like, we're gonna let you do what you gotta do. But at 18, son, Dad was like, you getting out. Mom was like, yeah, you getting out. So I knew then if Mom was echoing that chamber, because I'm like, oh yeah. So to me though, what was so crazy, that's all I had wanted. I was like, oh, they get ready to back up, right? Oh, happy Easter, Shelby.
Happy Easter, Shelby.
So they backed up and that instance, it was like like Mom said, she prayed about it. It was like a coming to Jesus moment. And I was just like, I wish I could tag Brian Diedrich in this. I think I could. Are you able to tag him? Because he was one of the ones. So that night, right, I was gonna sneak out to go to homecoming. But they beat everybody to it. Mom and Dad, like they act like they wasn't listening, but they were savvy with it. They knew I was gonna sneak out that night regardless. So they came to me before that night and said, son, we done with it. You ain't on punishment no more. I was like, what? I'm not on. I thought they was punking me. Like, you know that show Punk? You know that shit? Y'all remember that show Punk? Mm-hmm. There's like, because dad started out, he's like, son, clearly you don't care about school. So you ain't on punishment no more. And I'm like, this ain't true. And then so Mom was echoing what he was saying. I'm just like, wait, they really about on the night that they know what's going down tonight. They know it's homecoming night. Right. That's why I say Mom and Dad's strategic. They knew. They're like, so you can go out, you can do whatever you want to do. Now, to their credit, they was like, but now you still got to bring your behind back in this house by midnight. Now, you ain't getting too crazy. But the only reason you was on punishment because of school. But clearly you don't care about school. So you're going to go through these last couple of years, and then when you turn 18, you're going to get a job and you're going to get out. So I'm like, I ain't hearing none of that. So as soon as they get done talking, I'm like, I called Brian. I was like, Brian, hey, you could come get me for homecoming, bro. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. Like, I ain't got to sneak out nothing. They said they let me get. That's all I heard. I wasn't even hearing the other part. I'm thinking about, because I was a junior at this point. He was like, are you sure? He's like, because, they was literally coming to my house too. Because, Mom used to get on to him about stuff like, He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, they said I could go out. But I just got to be back home by midnight. He was like, oh, okay. Man, when I tell you I lived it up that night. But then when I got back home, to make a long story short, it hit me like, okay, all right, Kenny, you had your fun. What are you gonna do in these last 2 years to make sure that you show them you just didn't like school? It had nothing to do with their parenting. It had nothing to do. I just didn't like school. But so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay it back to them now. Now they let me off the leash. They eased up off of me. Now let me show them, okay, all you had to do is ease up a little bit. And then I like mom said earlier, I aced everything from that. The fight kind of derailed my AB honor roll that first semester, but
Yeah.